Do you feel it? That quiet weight that shows up when everything gets still. That whisper in your mind that says, you should have done more. You should have stayed. You should have known better. Regret doesn't shout. It doesn't need to. It creeps in, softly, patiently. And before you even realize it, it has taken something from you. Your peace. Your focus. Your future. Because regret is not just a feeling. Regret is a thief. And the most dangerous part? You're the one feeding it. Pause, softer tone. Every time you replay the past. Every time you wish you had said something different. Every time you sit there, stuck in a moment that no longer exists. You are giving it power. You are handing it your present. For something that can never be changed. Slight rise in intensity. Listen carefully. There are people right now, living their lives fully. Not because they made perfect choices. But because they refuse to stay chained to imperfect ones. And then there are others. People who are physically here. But mentally, they are still trapped in yesterday. Still replaying that mistake. That loss. That missed opportunity. Over, and over, and over again. Pause, lower tone. Which one are you? Because regret doesn't just visit. It settles. It builds a home in your mind. And slowly, it starts to rearrange everything. It makes you doubt yourself. It makes you hesitate. It makes you afraid to move forward. Because deep down, you're scared of making another mistake. Softer, almost whisper. So you stay still. And that is how regret wins. Transition, more reflective tone. But here's what most people never realize. Regret is not proof that you failed. It is proof that you cared. Think about it. You don't regret things that mean nothing to you. You regret the moments that mattered. The choices that carried weight. The paths that could have changed everything. And that pain you feel? It's not there to destroy you. It's there to wake you up. Pause, deeper tone. But instead of learning from it, most people drown in it. They turn regret into identity. I'm the one who messed up. I'm the one who lost it. I'm the one who ruined everything. And without even realizing it, they stop growing. Because they believe the past has already defined them. Slight rise in intensity. But let me tell you something clearly. The past has no power over you. Unless you keep bowing to it. Stronger, more commanding tone. You cannot go back. Say that again in your mind. You cannot go back. No amount of thinking. No amount of wishing. No amount of regret will rewrite what has already happened. So why are you still living there? Why are you waking up every day? Only to reopen a chapter that has already closed? Pause, slower. Regret survives on one thing. Attention. The more you think about it, the stronger it becomes. The more you feed it, the more it consumes you. Until one day, you look back and realize you didn't just lose the past. You lost years of your life to something that was already gone. Shift, calm, grounded Stoic tone. The Stoics understood this deeply. They knew that life is not about controlling what happens, but mastering how you respond to it. And regret? Regret is simply a signal. A signal that says, next time, choose differently. That's it. Not stay stuck. Not punish yourself forever. Not relive this pain endlessly. Just learn. Adjust. Move forward. Pause, softer. But moving forward requires something most people avoid. Acceptance. Not approval. Not denial. Acceptance. Emotional tone builds. Accept that you didn't know what you know now. Accept that you made the best decision you could, at that time. Accept that you are human, and humans make mistakes. Because until you accept that, you will keep fighting a battle that cannot be won. And every day you fight it, regret steals a little more from you. Slight pause, then a shift into deeper emotional pull. Let me ask you something. What is regret costing you right now? Is it your confidence? Your sleep? Your ability to trust yourself again? Or maybe it's costing you opportunities. Because while you're busy looking backward, life is still moving forward. And it's not waiting for you to catch up. Build intensity again. Imagine this. You carry regret for years. You replay the same mistakes, again and again. And then one day, you realize you've created a new regret. The regret of wasting your life thinking about what you cannot change. Pause, let that sink in. That is the final theft. Not what happened back then, but what it cost you now. Calm, grounded, reassuring tone. But here's the truth. You can stop it. Right now. Not by erasing the past, but by refusing to feed it. Firm, empowering tone. Because regret is only powerful when you keep serving it your time, your energy, your attention. And the moment you take that away, it begins to starve. Smooth transition toward part 2. In the next part, we're going deeper. We're going to break the grip of regret completely. You'll learn how to take your power back. How to turn past mistakes into strength. And how to finally move forward, without looking over your shoulder. Call to action, calm but persuasive. If this message is speaking to you, if you're ready to stop letting regret control your life, then subscribe to the Stoic Path. Because this journey, this transformation, is just beginning. Okay. Now, let's finish this. Because understanding regret is one thing. But breaking free from it? That requires courage. Pause, slight intensity. You've already spent enough time looking back. Now it's time to face forward. Soft but firm. The first truth you must accept is this. Your past is not your prison. It only becomes a prison when you keep choosing to live inside it. Pause. Think about that carefully. The event is over. The mistake is done. The moment has passed. But the suffering? The suffering continues. Because you keep replaying it. Stronger tone. So here's the shift. You don't heal from regret by thinking more about it. You heal from regret by changing how you relate to it. Reflective tone. Instead of asking, why did this happen to me? Ask, what is this trying to teach me? Because every regret carries a lesson. And if you ignore the lesson, you will repeat the pain. Slow, intentional. Maybe it taught you to trust yourself more. Maybe it showed you who people really are. Maybe it forced you to see a truth you were avoiding. Pause. That wasn't destruction. That was direction. Intensity builds slightly. But here's where most people get stuck. They want the lesson without accepting the cost. They want growth without pain. They want wisdom without experience. Short pause. That's not how life works. Grounded, stoic tone. Every strong person you admire has a past they had to make peace with. Not fix. Not erase. Make peace with. Softer, almost reassuring. And peace doesn't come from changing what happened. It comes from deciding. It no longer controls me. Pause, then more direct. So how do you actually do that? How do you stop feeding regret? Clear, structured but still emotional. You start by cutting off its supply. And its supply is your attention. Firm tone. The next time your mind drags you back to that moment, that mistake, that memory, don't fight it. But don't follow it either. Calm, instructional. Observe it. Like a passing cloud. Acknowledge it. Yes, that happened. And then gently bring yourself back to now. Pause. Because your power has always been in the present, never in the past. Build emotional weight. Right now. In this moment. You have the ability to choose differently. To act differently. To become someone new. Stronger. But you can't do that if your mind is constantly living somewhere else. Transition, deeper tone. Let's go even deeper. Lower voice, more emotional. Forgiveness. This is where most people struggle. Because they think forgiveness means saying, "It was okay." But that's not what it means. Firm but gentle. Forgiveness means, "I refuse to carry this any longer." Pause. You're not freeing the past. You're freeing yourself. Emotional pull. Because every time you hold on to regret, you are punishing the present version of you for something the past version of you did without the knowledge you have today. Let that breathe, then soften. That's not growth. That's self-destruction. Stronger, empowering tone. You don't need to suffer to prove you've learned. You don't need to keep hurting to show that it mattered. Pause. The lesson is already there. The awareness is already there. So why are you still holding the pain? Transition, rising clarity. At some point, you have to make a decision. Firm, decisive. Either you keep feeding regret, or you start feeding your future. Pause. Because both cannot grow at the same time. More intense now, this is the turning point. Look at your life. Look at where you are. Look at who you are becoming. Slow, deliberate. Is regret helping you build that? Or is it quietly tearing it down? Pause. Be honest. Shift, empowering. Because the moment you decide, "I've had enough," everything begins to change. Stronger. You start taking your energy back. You start focusing on what you can control. You start rebuilding your confidence. One decision at a time. Calm but powerful. And slowly, regret loses its grip. Reflective close. Not because it disappeared, but because you stopped feeding it. Final emotional rise. Remember this. You are not the mistake you made. You are the person who survived it. Learned from it. And now has the chance to rise beyond it. Pause, softer, meaningful. Don't let a moment define your entire life. Final stoic tone, calm, wise. The past is a place of reference, not a place of residence. Call to action, warm and inviting. If this message helped you see things differently, if you're ready to take control of your mind, your emotions, your life, then subscribe to the Stoic Path. Because here, we don't run from pain. We transform it into power. Final line, slow, deep, impactful. Regret is a thief. But only if you keep leaving the door open. Close it. And walk forward. There's something about quiet moments. When the noise fades. When the distractions disappear. When it's just you, and your thoughts. That's when it shows up. Regret. Not loudly. Not aggressively. But gently, almost patiently. Like it's been waiting for you. Pause. And then it begins. A memory. A moment. A decision you wish you could take back. You see it clearly now, don't you? What you should have said. What you shouldn't have done. The path you should have taken instead. Slight crack in tone. And suddenly. You're not here anymore. You're back there. Reliving it. Rewriting it. Wishing, just wishing, for one more chance. Soft but piercing. But here's the truth most people refuse to face. That moment is gone. Not hidden. Not delayed. Gone. And yet. You're still paying for it. Every single day. Tone deepens. That's what makes regret so dangerous. It doesn't just visit your mind. It takes something from you. Your peace. Your confidence. Your ability to move forward. And the worst part? It doesn't even have to fight for it. You give it away, willingly. Pause, slower. Every time you replay the past. You feed it. Every time you say, if only. You strengthen it. Every time you sit in that moment. Instead of stepping out of it. You are handing your life over. To something that no longer exists. Slight rise in intensity. Think about that. You are sacrificing your present. For a past that cannot be changed. Reflective tone. And maybe, you tell yourself it's normal. Maybe you say. I'm just trying to understand what went wrong. I'm just learning from my mistakes. But be honest. Are you learning? Or are you just hurting, repeatedly? Pause. Because there's a difference. Learning moves you forward. Regret keeps you stuck. Tone becomes more direct. And right now, you need to decide which one you're choosing. Soft but firm. Because regret is not just a feeling. It's a habit. A pattern. A loop your mind has become comfortable with. Pause. You go back. You replay. You feel the pain. You blame yourself. And then. You do it again. Slight intensity. Day after day. Week after week. Year after year. Lower voice, emotional. Until one day. You realize something terrifying. You didn't just lose that moment. You lost parts of your life. Living inside it. Silence, then shift tone. But it doesn't have to be this way. Grounded, calm. You see. Regret only has power. When you keep feeding it. Pause, let it sink in. And the moment you understand that. The moment you truly understand that. Something inside you begins to shift. More empowering tone. Because now. You're no longer a victim of your past. You're someone who has a choice. Softer. A choice to keep looking back. Or a choice to finally move forward. Transition, deeper reflection. Let's talk about something most people avoid. Responsibility. Firm tone. Not blame. Responsibility. Pause. Blame keeps you stuck. Responsibility sets you free. Explains gently. Blame says. I ruined everything. Responsibility says. I made a decision, and now I can make a better one. Slight rise in intensity. Do you see the difference? One traps you. The other empowers you. Pause, softer. You cannot change what you did. But you can change who you become because of it. Emotional build. And maybe. That mistake you keep replaying was never meant to destroy you. Maybe it was meant to shape you. To open your eyes. To force you to grow in ways comfort never could. Pause. But that only happens if you stop living in it. Transition, more intense. Because staying in regret feels like control. It feels like you're doing something. Like you're fixing it in your mind. Firm. But you're not. You're just reopening the wound. Soft but powerful. Over. And over. And over again. Pause. Healing doesn't come from revisiting pain endlessly. It comes from understanding it. And then releasing it. Deep breath tone. So let's go deeper. Lower, emotional. Forgive yourself. Pause. Not because it didn't matter. Not because it didn't hurt. But because you deserve peace. Stronger. You deserve to wake up without that weight. You deserve to move forward without dragging chains from your past. Soft. And no one else can give you that. Pause. It has to come from you. Transition, rising strength. Because the truth is, you've already suffered enough. Firm, almost confronting. So why are you choosing to suffer more? Pause. What are you trying to prove? That you regret it? You already know that. Softer. So let it go. Emotional build. Not all at once. Not perfectly. But gradually. Guiding tone. The next time the memory shows up, don't dive into it. Just notice it. Acknowledge it. And let it pass. Pause. Like a wave. Slight rise. Because not every thought deserves your attention. Not every memory deserves your energy. Firm. And not every mistake deserves a lifetime sentence. Pause. You are allowed to grow. Transition, powerful close building. Imagine this. A version of you who no longer looks back with pain, but with understanding. Soft. A version of you who says, yes, I made mistakes, but I didn't stay there. Stronger. I learned. I evolved. I moved forward. Pause. That version of you is not far away. Final emotional rise. It's waiting. On the other side of this decision. Slow, powerful. To stop feeding regret. Closing stoic tone. Because regret will take as much as you are willing to give. Pause, final line. So stop giving it your life.